girl, Myia Dominique, and I'm here with my girl, Victoria. She's in the building. We hit each other on socials and was like, girl, we need to do this because it's well overdue. She got so much. Y'all, I ain't even finna get into what she just dropped in my lap. But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna let my girl introduce herself and then we get into this episode for sure.
Okay, hey, y'all. My name is Victoria. And I am what I consider a serial entrepreneur.
Period.
Today we are talking about mental health journals that I went ahead and created. And me and my girl Myia, we had connected current, similar situations. So look, we gonna get into it. Let y'all know what's going on. Let y'all see bits and pieces, and we gonna go from there.
Yes, it was the bits and pieces, because she definitely got her stuff marked out. When I say she ready, which I love.
We ready.
I love that. So when she hit me, I did an open call. Like, I had a lot of people who inboxed me last season, like, oh, I want to get on the podcast. And then I think people just be kind of scared to, like, tell you that they really want to get on. Mm-hmm. So they're, like, dropping in your inbox, which is cool. I ain't mad at you. So she definitely hit me and was like, I definitely got a mental health journal. It's with grief, and I'm definitely feeling, like expressing what I got going on. And y'all know anything that's going to help the next person,
all for it.
I'm down. 10 times Wakanda, okay? So with that being said, when she hit me, I didn't know, which I'm going to let her get into her story. Y'all know pretty much my story. But I didn't know she lost a sibling too. Now, let me just say, them siblings that you stay in the household with, that shit hit different.
It hit different.
It's a total different. I'm not saying nothing wrong with the ones that stay outside the household. Them still your siblings and still your folks. But them ones you grew up in the house, it's something about them.
Okay.
It's different.
Okay.
So
and the ones that you get close with, not even the ones that you stay in the house with.
Yes.
Because look, y'all can grow apart, but the ones that you close with,
still stay close.
Come on. That's what's something else.
Okay, so shoot me the story, and I don't want to cry. I'm sorry if I cry, but I'm real open to hearing people's journey because I'm only 2 years in. It's only been 2 years for my brother, and I don't know where this journey gonna lead me. Like, I have a nephew out the deal that never met his father, so that's a whole nother piece. You know what I'm saying? That's added to. And to see, like, when you go through stuff, you be like, oh, I'm the only person going through it. But you're really not the only person that going through it.
It's just people don't talk about it.
She took the words right out of my mouth. Literally. People just don't tell their story. And sometimes I think it be out of fear.
Yeah. Or what people may think.
I was just going to say judgment.
Like their mental health journey as a sign of weakness. A lot of people see that.
Come on.
Or a lot of people feel like black people don't deal with mental health.
We don't deal with it. Like we just blatantly just be like, we don't got no problems. Exactly. It ain't no wrong with us. No,
we bounce back like we just the strongest of the strong and keep pushing. And sometimes, no, we need to stop, take a break, take a breath. Because a lot of people fucked up because they going through some shit and don't address it. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
I definitely agree. So walk me through your grieving process. I guess, what happened to your brother? Like, if you don't mind sharing your story.
No, of course not. Cause look,
I know that.
So my little brother passed away January of 2021.
Okay.
So it really was so crazy because I had just moved in a new place. He had came and seen the place. Literally a few days later, me and him was just on the phone, like a regular, like on the phone. It was the weekend. He was getting ready to go to a party, and I was getting ready to go to a ladies' night.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, he in the house, he cool, because that's just what it was. My little brother wasn't an angel. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
He was for the streets. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Right.
Like, that's the life he chose, but that didn't make him less of a person. So
I love that.
He was definitely in the streets. So when he passed, I always said, like, it wasn't a surprise to me that it happened. Okay. But it's just something that I wasn't ready for.
Okay.
You know, like, I know what comes with the territory, baby. Who don't? Like, you know what happens, and you know what could happen. So it was just that inevitable had happened way too soon. But I had just talked to him, and he was at a party. I was gonna get ready to go out, so I made it home from the city to get dressed for a ladies' night, and then I got a FaceTime from at the time his girlfriend.
Okay.
So for me, and just knowing my little brother history, he has to have a party. I'm like, oh shit, they didn't get into it.
Something
she
happened.
me to let me know that he done did something to her. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, am I gonna answer or am I not gonna answer? Like, I don't even know. Like, I just answer the phone. I'm like, look, I'm just gonna answer. Answer the phone, girl, to a FaceTime, because she FaceTimed me. However, she FaceTimed me to show me my little brother in the car shot.
Girl, bye.
Yes.
Bye.
So apparently, he went to pick her up from work. Their car was followed, and whomever was following them started shooting at the car while they were driving. So he apparently turned a corner and hit a pole as soon as he hit the corner. So he didn't get shot while they was chasing the car and shooting at the car.
They shot him once he hit
that pole. They got out and ran up to the car
and walked him down. Yeah, that's crazy.
So he got killed in the car with another person, and then 2 other people was in the car who didn't get killed. So yeah, so when she FaceTimed me, I saw him in the car. It was a little blurry. You can't really tell. I'm like, is he breathing? She like, yeah. So I just see him, but I just see him like basically just in the car.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking. He wasn't saying nothing. She just screaming in the background. So it was like you really couldn't get out. You know what was too much going on. He'd never been shot before, so you know it was all just surreal. And I'm just like, okay, so like let me know like what's going on. She like he's still breathing, so I'm like, okay, I can breathe a little easier. So we now back on the E-way, you know, flying to get back to the city. Literally, as soon as I made it in the hospital, walked through the doors, they came out and said his heart just stopped.
Girl, no.
So,
woo, Jesus.
Yeah, it was some. It was some. And it was hard. It was hard because it's just something that you don't expect. And then especially after you just talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just surreal. And it's like, no matter how much you talk about it, no matter how much time passed, it's like, it's still there.
Yeah.
So during that time, after he passed away, like anybody that knew me and my little brother, anybody that didn't know me and my little brother knew me and my little brother. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So
it was one of those. That was me.
Exactly.
It was me. That's crazy. Big sister, little brother.
Yes. And people on social media, they was like, you know, I don't know, you know, you and your little brother personally, but I saw y'all relationship through social media. Like my little brother that should call another baby. The world knew he loved his sister. And the world knew I loved my little brother. You know what I'm saying? It was more so like, that was my kid before kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I find I'm talking to somebody that understands my life. When I tell y'all, she is speaking to my heart right now. That my little brother was my heart. Like, anybody that know me knows, like, it was no secret. It was Myia and DJ. Literally, from when we was growing up, we was bad.
We was bad together.
Bad
together.
Literally. So it was always no. So for her to be singing this same song, my heart is just like, I know how she feel when she's, it hurt.
It does.
It hurt. And it go back and forth. Like, grief is not no thing that, like, she sitting here and she tearing up right now, and she could have a full-blown cry, like, later. And then tomorrow, it's like she was never crying about that same thing. Not to say that she not hurt, but it don't hurt like it was hurting the day before. I don't know why it's like that.
It's a process. It's a process. Like, you literally go back and forth. Like, sometimes it feel like the very first day when I got the phone call, when I hit the floor. Some days it feel like shit is the 2 years that it actually been. And that, you know, I'm actually on a healing journey. But it just goes back and forth because it's like, depending on what time of the year it is, a holiday, a birthday.
Yes.
Like, it depends on if you got a big accomplishment and you can't share it with them. Like, it really depends, like, on what's happening or how you elevate in your life. That it's crazy. And I always tell people, I'm like, I don't deflect from nobody that lost nobody, but until you lost a sibling, you can't understand somebody that lost a sibling.
Nope.
Because it's different.
And the same with a kid. I've heard it's been the same with losing a parent, and I've heard it's the same with losing a kid. Those three are extremely hard with the exception of the spouse. I've heard a spouse, especially long-term spouse. When I say long-term, y'all, I'm not talking about no 5-10 year relationships. I'm talking about our grandmas and granddaddies who've been together since they was 19 and they ass is motherfucking 85 and they've been together 70 of them years.
Yes.
That
is crazy.
It's crazy.
And what's here today, gone tomorrow.
I was just finna say, it don't take no time. Like, it does not take any time for you to just be gone.
Yep.
She got the experience, not to say that it's a bigger experience, but I listened to what she said, you know, and I don't know that anything would have changed even in our situation. We never went to a hospital. My brother was pronounced dead on Saturday anyway. That was just it. It was a wrap. When the first car struck him and he was on the phone with his now son's mother, she just said she heard the crash and she was just screaming like, what happened? What happened? She's actually the one who called the police. And that's how the police came. The next car that came behind the car that hit him stopped. But the car that came behind her hit my brother again. So he was already in the street, not responsive. She turned around and hit him again. And
he was outside the car?
Yeah, he was dead. So, I don't know if I ever full-blown explained the story, but I'll explain it again one more time. And I'm smiling because I'm trying not to cry. It makes it easier to just smile through stuff and remember stuff for what it is instead of taking it, you know, in a bad place or taking it in a negative place. My brother was on his way home on Labor Day 2 years ago, September of 2021. He went to pull over to the side of the road and help somebody who was in the middle of the street. He parked his car on the side of the expressway. In the middle of the expressway, and it's dark outside. Me personally, I'm not stopping.
Okay.
He got a different type of heart, but he get that from my mom. My mom is that type. She got that heart. It's dark. I can't see. I wear a whole nother set of eyes. So again, it's different for me. And I question all the time, like, why would he get out? It's dark. I can't say why God had him get out. I just can't. So I can't say why he stopped. All I know is that he stopped. The car was parked. He went to go help that gentleman move his car to the side of the road. So he was already on the side of the road. The person that he was helping was in the middle of the expressway. He went to help him move his car. They got his car to the side of the road. Literally, got the car to the side of the road. My brother went back to go get his car. Because remember now, he parked behind this man. So now he in the side of the road. Literally, girl, his baby mama said he looked up. And she just heard him say, oh, shit. And that was the end. That was it. Like a movie.
That is crazy.
Like, so never went to the hospital, never had a chance of reviving. It was just done.
That's it.
That was it. We literally identified his body from FaceTime, from Zoom. Because DuPage County does not allow you, with COVID restrictions, to go in and view the body. Based off his ID, they had his ID in his pocket. And his face was not tormented with it. So nothing was really wrong with his face. He did have blood force trauma to the head, which is what they're saying killed him. But nothing was in his face to show that you wouldn't be able to identify him. And compared to his ID, that sheriff called my mama and said, I'm sorry to inform you, but... And when my mama called me and said that the sheriff was coming to her house, I knew my brother was dead. I knew when I got out of my bed and scooted to the bottom. I watch enough Law and Order, CSI, and too many dogs. The sheriffs don't come to your house for no damn visit to say peekaboo hello. If they wanted to tell you about your son, they could have told you what hospital he was in. They came to tell you because they are not allowed to tell you that your child is deceased on the phone. So I say that to say, looking at her situation, and when you grieving, you just look at I don't know if it would have changed anything. I've never heard anybody like actually explain, you know, we went to the hospital and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You hear people talk about it, but like not when it comes to your sibling. I don't know if that would have made my process worse or better.
I don't know. I think because, and it's not to take away from, you know, how it happened with your brother. Very unfortunately, definitely sorry to hear that. But I feel like it's kind of, and I don't know because I never got a phone call like, hey, the person is deceased, you know what I'm saying? But to get a phone call to say that he's alive and he's breathing, you have hope.
Yes. And that's,
you feel like that, okay, God, he's gonna make it. He
He
may pull through.
There you go.
So you hanging on to
You
it.
hang on to something.
That's only for you to come and be like, he didn't make it. You know what I'm saying?
Like nothing. That's why I said I don't know if that would have. You a little. I hate to say it, but like you're a little stronger than me because I don't know if I would have been able to deal with like he breathing and me from the time of me hearing he breathing to the time of me getting there, he's no longer breathing.
Exactly.
That's a whole nother transition in everything.
Yeah.
That go from like not making funeral arrangements to now I gotta make funeral arrangements. Like it's official.
This is it. Like,
girl,
this is what it is. Like, it ain't no coming back from it. And so long, I feel like so long I was in the like denial stage of grieving. Like, no, he ain't dead for real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I did that.
He ain't dead for real.
I did that.
But now it's like the acceptance stage. Like, yeah, he gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though you don't want this to be your reality, this is the reality. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing you could do about it. So when I first created the journals, like, I'm not gonna lie, I did create them during a time of depression, but they not for people that's just depressed. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, mental health don't necessarily mean you gotta be depressed. Like,
definitely,
it's to get people to open up, you know, more about, you know, starting a healing journey, about going through, you know, exploring what, you know, the deep rooted issues of why they are the way they are or why they are who they are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just uncovering like your traumas, you know, the past things that you've been through in general, you know, just to get you out of a dark place if you is in a dark place, or just to get you to understand, you know, why so much stuff affects you now in your adulthood, or, you know, in your, you know, adolescent years, or whatever the case may be. But to basically start the process of healing from everything that you've been through. You ain't gotta be depressed. Some people, you know, got anxiety, or you know, some people then went through like toxic relationships, or so in the journal it's 5 different topics. So it's depression, it's grieving, it's anxiety, it's childhood trauma, and then toxic relationships.
I love this. Okay. So she took it away, which is good. I love people that just go. So I was just browsing through because this is my first time seeing the journal. So her journal is called It's Okay Not to Be Okay, Volume 1, which means it's going to be a Volume 2. So I'm coming behind that one because Volume 2, I like stuff like that. But this is definitely the book. This is the journal. I want y'all to get a real good look at it, and then I'm gonna have her go through why she chose them topics. And the reason I chose that is because all them topics, even though teenage trauma might not sound like something that actually play a role in what we talking about right now, it actually do, and I'm gonna touch on that in a second. And so does toxic relationships. So hear me out. And she's gonna agree. I know she is, because she's finna nod her head. She's going through the same thing, and I know that she know what I'm talking about when I say this. You look at your life and you be like, man, all of this stuff I'm doing, all this stuff I did, you know, how did I get there from this? Or how did I get there from that? Everybody do it. Oprah done did it. Tyler Perry do it. Everybody do that shit. They ain't gonna never admit it, but they do that shit. Okay. Everybody takes a voila moment and look and just be like, damn, how did I get exactly? Yes. Be it good or bad. She just made a valid point, which a lot of people ain't gonna say. We get on the news, and I'm say us, we do this. Get on the news and be like, oh, my son was a saint. No. She told y'all the truth. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. My brother was not no saint either. But what the hell he got killed from was nowhere near what I thought was gonna happen.
For sure.
I say that to say your childhood trauma does make a difference in how your life turns out.
It does.
She made a very valid point. Childhood trauma is something that, again, I don't want to get banned, that we don't talk about. So when she get in here and say she has exercises and things for you to go through your childhood trauma and to pull that stuff out and to acknowledge it, that make a total difference in how people carry themselves and live their day-to-day lives. Who's to say her brother didn't have no trauma that went on when they were younger, which is why he turned to the streets, which is why he turned to the people. Sometimes if you talk to people that are in the streets and really embedded in that, then listen to them, a lot of times the people in the street listen to them is more family than the family that they have at home, because it's easier to turn to them and get a straight up answer than for your family to lead you on for all these years or lie to you. How many family secrets do we know come from just straight childhood trauma?
Okay.
All of that affects you when you're going through these processes. So if you never deal with this childhood trauma, if you never deal with all these things, and God forbid you have some tragic happen, and now you got to go through grief and depression, baby, you fucked. You fucked.
You and everybody around you. It's going to rub off on how you treat other people.
Come on.
And nobody going to want to be around your ass. Nobody going to want to deal with that. You're not going to be able to openly express yourself as an adult to communicate with others. Like, you ain't gonna have no partner, baby, because ain't nobody gonna want to deal with that.
Nobody wants to deal with that.
Like, you have to work on you.
And it's nothing wrong with grieving. It's nothing wrong with having these issues. It's how you do it.
Yeah.
It's how you deal with it. It's how you go through that process. This, I can't wait to do my shit.
Okay, look.
I want my shit pink and sad like us. I got so many damn sticky notes. I can't wait.
Look, you have to, and I try to write that daily. Especially when it's hit me a little harder on some days, you know, more than others. Just because it gives you an outlet. Like, I thought right now, I feel a little better. I ain't gonna lie. Because it's like I was able to get out what I want to say.
What you wanted to say.
Oftentimes, you don't want to talk to people. Oftentimes, you just want to, you know, live in your own misery, if that makes sense. Well, it's not misery, but I guess in your own healing. Like, you don't want to drag people through something that they ain't got nothing to deal, nothing to do with.
And they can't relate to. Because half the
Exactly.
time, do you ever notice, and I know this is kind of like off subject, but I do have this genuine question. Do you feel like sometimes when you talk to people, they just don't understand?
Yes.
And
So then it makes you not want to talk to them.
I was about to say, so
I
I
don't
just
have
don't say
nothing to
nothing.
So then you have all that energy bottled up, and that's what I learned during my depression stage, because I was fucked up like 16 months of no working, like no outside entertainment, like I haven't celebrated my birthday since I celebrated with my little brother. Like, and that was in 2021. Like, so it's like, it's something. And it's like, no, despite like that was what I was going through, what I was going through was pulling me away from everybody else. I got pulled away from my friends. They didn't pull away from me, but I pulled away
from them.
Because I was too sad, I was too depressed, and that's energy that could rub off on somebody.
Yeah, and then when your friends don't have, nothing to say or they can't relate, it's hard for them to continue to like support you because it's like, am I really supporting if I'm just sitting here? If I don't say nothing, you be all over the place.
They battle with themselves on how to support you, and then you battle with yourself on how they supporting you.
Yes.
So it's hard, and I feel like I did lose friendships when I went through grieving. I did. Some of my friendships depleted. I could say I didn't lose them, but they're not what they were. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And it's not nobody's fault. You know what I'm saying? It's just literally what I was going through. And some people don't know. If they never dealt with it, they don't know how to help you deal with it.
They don't know how to help you.
So it's like, you can't be mad at them because they just simply don't know. Like, you can't say like, oh, you lost somebody, you know what it feel like. No, because they probably lost a grandparent, and it's different. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your mental health stages definitely affect like the people you're around, and like not to hit too much on this because it's just a private situation, with relationships or whatever. But my guy felt like because I was down and depressed, like it was starting to affect, the relationship, or
and it does.
How
it does.
He felt because he was down by seeing me down and not knowing how to help me, through the situation. You know what I'm saying? So it did, like, it affect a lot of your relationships. It do.
It does.
So until you willing to heal and navigate through that, I feel like you're always damaged to people you come to.
It's gonna be a process. Healing is not nothing that happened and you be like,
I'm healed.
Okay, it's over, I'm healed. Like, that's not the case. You're gonna go through some situations where no, you're not gonna be okay in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that moment, you may not be okay, but maybe 2 hours from now, you could talk through that moment and be like, I don't know, maybe that song. A lot of stuff too, you gotta know your triggers. I think that's the biggest thing with me. I didn't know what was triggering me to get so upset and just think about, like, Sundays was the worst day for me for a long time, because my brother used to come over when I would cook on Sunday. And it came to, like, maybe that Sunday I tried to cook maybe 2 weeks after the funeral. No good. Then never got done. Just no good. I'm just sitting there crying. Even doing little stuff with my kids. My brother didn't have kids when he was living. So my kids were his children. When they go to, like, karate, they go to do different stuff. Like, my son finna go to football. It's emotional. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I'm like, Dad, this stuff I didn't used to have to do. Even though, like, I had a spouse and his daddy is around, to make sure stuff done. My brother was the go-to. His daddy knew that. My spouse knew that. My mama, everybody know, like, I'm gonna call DJ. Football equipment, cleats, whatever it is. So now I'm like, I'm gonna have to get on Amazon and try to figure this out, because that's not nothing I'm used to. But the triggers, you gotta know them triggers. Like, okay, walk me through this. What made, I know you said you did it in a very depressed time, and I hate to say it, but when you down, you tend to get a lot of shit done.
You sure the fuck do.
I hate to say it like that, but you do. So if you had to give me 5 takeaways from your book, because I am from your journal. Number 1, y'all, is buying nice. I'm all for. I love good presentation. Anytime you going through a place where you're down, you need something that's gonna always attract your attention. This gonna make me look. It's okay to not be okay. That right there gonna make me turn it, cause
it's okay.
Exactly. A lot of people ain't gonna tell you, like, it's good. And you got to be strong. I heard that shit so much. I hate that saying with passion.
It's so funny you say that. 2 of the pages in a journal is, what did people say to you while you was grieving that you did not want to hear? And what did you want to say back to them?
Yes!
Because, look, you might not want to let it out and be rude or be a bitch or be mean. Let it out in the journal. Let it out. What did you want to say to them? Like, that really, because people really bother me. Like, oh, it's okay. He's in a better place now. Like, so you want to go to them? Because it got to be a good place. Like, you want to go to.
And you want to let me know that that's okay. Like, that wasn't the way to let me know it's okay. I can't stand them saying.
So, look, it's some pages in there where you can just, like, express, like, what the fuck was people saying to you that you wanted to say back that you couldn't?
Yes. I think that's going to be my favorite damn thing.
Baby, look.
Takeaways. Drop some knowledge on me. Like, what can we expect from this? What was your... Okay, let me give you 2 things. I'm going to give you 2 tasks. Drop some knowledge on us on what to expect. Don't give us everything, but give me a teaser. If you had to give me maybe like 5 things and you like, this is it. And then what made you go? Because I know, like, when you, like we just said, you can be very, very productive when you're depressed. Like, I'm a clean freak when I'm depressed. I'm gonna clean this whole house. This shit gonna be shining. This dust ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. I cleaned the whole time they was preparing for the funeral. Literally, I wrote the obituary and that was it. I cleaned my house.
At least you had that. So me and my brother did everything from start to finish, like from IDing the body at the morgue to everything. So me and my brother did everything, let my mama not have to do nothing. So we was pretty busy and preoccupied with that. But just to go back to what you said, so some of my favorite things in a journal is I go to church. Look, and let me just say this, like, look, I ain't no psychiatrist, I ain't no therapist, baby. I'm not no expert in
what you say. This is
mental health.
life.
Like, this is just life and the way it do.
Yeah,
and
you
me
working
turning lemonade out of lemons, baby. Look. This is what this is. Like,
this is it.
It ain't none of that extra. So I feel like now I go to church. I swear by going to church. I grew up in church. You know, with COVID, churches closed down. I kind of strayed away from it. But then when my brother passed away, I went back.
You had to go.
It was what I needed. And I can honestly say that it helps tremendously. Like, I could be having a shitty ass week, baby. 0 out of 10, no stars at all. Don't rate it.
No stars.
And I go to church.
No stars.
And baby, I'm cool. I'm cool. Listen to me some church music.
I was just gonna say that it's something about that church music too. It's something about when they throw that church music on that how you like.
It's different. It hit different. So church has helped me a lot. So in the journal, one of my favorite things is there's verses in a journal. So at the end of every topic,
my girl is
there's verses in a journal. And I do say, like, if you are not Christian, you know, you do not have to deal with that portion of the journal. You know what I'm saying? But for people that share the same beliefs as me, I want to, you know, explore that. I want to put that in there. I want to give you that resource. There's also resources in the journal, like, you know, mental health hotlines and, you know, different
I saw the
you can go
QR
through.
code, baby. She ain't playing. There's a QR code.
Yes. So those resources in the journal as well, because sometimes it's not just letting it out. Like, you do have to turn to help. I was in therapy when I lost my little brother.
Me too. I'm still in therapy every Thursday.
And I want to go back, but I left because the therapist told me, basically, like, I felt like, for me, I felt like I was grieving too long for her. And she had told me, it's time for you to basically create a life without him. And for me, it's like, what? Like, that's a slap in my fucking face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that he's not here. But for you to tell me to create a life without him, like, no, you should be helping me navigate how to
understand
present in my life, even though he's not
I was
here.
just finna say, make the adjustment. It's a transition, but there is no change. It will never be a life without him. He's my brother.
Exactly.
That's like non-existent. So go to hell. Sorry.
Expeditiously.
Yeah.
Thank you, but no thank you.
No, we're not doing that. Yeah.
So I haven't been back.
Nothing.
But it is something that I do want to get back into, because sometimes you do just need a little extra push. So we have that in there. I have pages in there that simply let you express yourself. Like, just let out whatever you feeling.
I see that. I see a page that this the third time I done flipped to this page. I done been through this book like 2-3 times. Y'all see me scrolling while she is explaining. It's a page in here, y'all, that have a little scroll and it say hey, and then it say love. And you write the letter, so I'm guessing whoever it is that you're missing, and express what you need to express and say, you know, love you. Y'all don't even understand. I'm trying not to cry because I didn't scroll past this page like 3 times, literally.
That means that's just a page you need to write.
I need to write on that page.
You got something to say.
Because I don't believe in God making mistakes. I love and again, no shade. I'm not trying to get banned. There's nobody out here that's perfect. Everybody chooses to do what they choose to do, like she just explained. If verses is something that you mean, I'm gonna read the verses. I'm all for the Bible. I don't go to church every Sunday. I like to watch church on live. It works for me.
And it's perfectly fine.
Because I can turn that on, put my AirPod in, and move around and do what I gotta do. A lot of people be stuck on, I gotta be in the church to feel the word or get the word. No, church is in you. Church is a lifestyle. If that's what you choose. Now, there are some people in her circumstances, I do believe this, sometimes that church atmosphere
Yes.
just comes over you
It's
when you
about
need
the sanctuary, baby.
That sanctuary, it do something.
It does.
It does. It do something. And for me, when I get my life a little bit more under control, and this is not no shade to God, because I pray every day, all day, Jesus. But I do want to find a home when you do get church homes, and not to go on a little religion spree, but when you do put God in the head of your life, a lot of stuff changes.
It does.
Even though, like, you be worrying, don't get me wrong, I worry. I still worry. Because, I mean, that's my boy. Okay. Like, we talk.
That's my homie. That's my homie.
That's my boy.
About me.
But I still worry. Like, I still have a lot of times where I go, like, you got me?
Exactly. But you keep that faith. But it should be okay.
And it be okay. It be okay. And that's where this goes with this process, this whole grieving, this whole losing people. Like, you gonna lose people. Everybody got a date. I know that shit sounds really crazy. Mm-hmm. It sounds real like, but damn, Myia, reality check. But it is a reality check.
It's the raw truth.
It's the truth. And the one thing, so my brother God Daddy preached his eulogy, which I would pray that, you know, somebody that know me preached mine. Mm-hmm. I feel like it speaks volume more to that person, and it gives that person, when you go to a person's funeral, that's the person's last chance to really have a lasting impression and statement on you. So the person who gives that eulogy, it gotta be somebody, for me, opinion, that knows you. Because it gives better. And the one thing he turned to my mama and said was, if you knew you had 24 years with your son, would you have done anything different? And my mama answer was no.
Really?
My mama did everything
she could
to do right by us. My brother didn't die because he was gunned down. My brother didn't die because he was, like, no retaliation. Not to say that it's anything against that, but knowing that how hard she was praying, and that wasn't the reason he went, that's a blessing. But it hit different. It do. Because out of all the shit you praying for,
the inevitable will still happen.
So,
and that right there gonna test your faith. It's gonna make you feel like, damn, God, I done did everything I was supposed to do.
I done did everything.
And this is how you repay me. Like, it really had you question.
And I think my mama was at that place for a long time. You know, I can't speak on nobody else process, but when you just said, you know, like these scriptures in here, and you was going into even the details with just like expressing yourself, a lot of times I think that what you just explained from the therapist that you were seeing and what you just said, they go hand in hand. There is no time limit on grieving. That shit sometimes is forever. There are some people who never stop grieving. Like, never stop. So with that being said, you got to be able to express yourself in a not only respectful but understanding manner, but being able to put it in that perspective and be okay and still move forward with life. Life don't stop, and life don't have to be adjusted according to what has happened. You just have to learn how to navigate with the adjustment. You don't got to necessarily adjust. I know that sounds crazy.
You just got to know how to move. Because some things you just can't change. Like, shit gonna happen.
You go. It's gonna happen. You can't adjust your life every time shit happens. If every time somebody shot in Chicago and we adjusted our life, like, oh my God, we gotta pass somewhere else to go.
We gonna
baby, Chicago be empty. Okay, like, that would be no damn truth because would nobody else be there.
Okay, look,
you gotta learn to maneuver. The maneuver, like she said, I don't think I lost any friends, but I definitely think I pushed away from people. I think a lot of my marriage had a lot to do with that. My ex-husband didn't understand what it felt like to lose.
That makes sense because your spouse was the one that was with you every day. He was the one seeing the raw emotion that you were going through. Like everybody else, they outside the house. So they can see like, oh, I called her and she crying today. You know what I'm saying? but it's him that's picking you up off the bathroom floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's him that's dealing with all of this. All in the same, y'all still got a life together. You still got kids. You still got a household to run. So it's like you still got shit to do. Basically.
You do.
But with you having shit to do, you still dealing with shit yourself. So it's like, it's hard, and you really just gotta have a strong partner that's willing to do the work, because it's not easy dealing with somebody that's been depressed. It's not easy dealing with somebody that's grieving. It's not easy dealing with people that got past trauma. It's just hard all around. And that letter that you mentioned is not just in the grieving one. It's in childhood trauma, because childhood trauma could come from
anybody.
Sexual abuse. Like, it's a list of
my
different
girl
things.
Ain't playing. I am, girl. You like taking me through it. I love it.
So it's a list of different traumas that you can experience as a childhood. Separation from parents. My little brother that we just talked about, he was adopted since the day he was born. So he had
she ain't dropped that on us like that.
So he had his own traumas, that he was dealing with, and because he had traumas, it affected the type of man he was, the way he dealt with females, based off how he not to put his business out there or the family business, but based off the relationship he had with his biological mother,
family
affects how he was as a man, and affect how much he loved us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Originally, he's my little cousin.
Okay.
So, but the world would never know that until I just said it.
So you know what I'm saying? Said it.
Nobody would know that. Nobody knew that, and you couldn't tell the difference.
And that don't matter, because I have a little cousin right now. That's my little brother.
Exactly.
I don't care what. And his mama is very well alive and kicking. His mama and my mama, they are the two youngest of my grandmother's kids, and they raised all of us in the household like we was a unit. It was us three. To this day, we feel like, and then there were two.
Okay.
That's
it. He literally came home with us from the day he was born, though. Like,
that take a strong person, though. Your mama, I love her.
She don't play with him.
I don't even want to come. Hey, OG.
It was
school ain't playing. Don't play.
It was really like that. So, and it was really no difference. Like, nobody could tell. But
that's amazing.
Those letters, it's like shit can happen to you as a child, like molestation. Write a letter to the person
who did something to you
that you couldn't talk to. But now you grown. Shit, say what
you gotta say. Yes.
So it's those letters in there. It's letters to the person that you're in a toxic relationship with. Not necessarily a spouse. You can have a toxic relationship with your parents. You can have a toxic relationship with your family. Like, it's not necessary. So it's not always, the person that you're intimate with or the person that you're dealing with. Like, people go through real life shit. And this is not just for adults.
Yeah.
Like, when I first did these journals, I did a mental health little session or whatever. I would say, what about 6 girls, teenagers, my little sister and her friends, and I have learned so much of teenagers and what they go through, and how shit plays out for them. So a part of the childhood trauma is like teenage expectations. Like, what do society expect from you? What do your parents expect from you? And what are your expectations of yourself? Like, everybody can have all these expectations in the world about you. And that's fine, because what they say, opinions like assholes. Everybody
got one.
So it really don't necessarily matter, but what do you want for yourself? You see what I'm saying? And for me, I was a teen mom, so
I second that motion. My living room
But you go through a lot as a teenage mom.
You do.
Society's expectations, society's opinions on you, and everything, not necessarily knowing how you got there.
The pressure and just being a parent, being responsible for another person, and everybody is looking at you to make the fuck up decision.
Exactly. Like, they expect you to fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, it's a lot, and you gotta go through life navigating that, and being a teen mom not easy neither. Like, the support that you may or may not have had from your parents, the support you may or may not have from family, the person that you got the baby with.
I was about to say, the support from them.
Exactly. So it's a lot of hard shit, like real raw ass facts that you have to uncover. And not necessarily saying everything is bad or your fault or something that you specifically went through. Like, your parents separated, that ain't got shit to do with you. You know what I'm saying?
It don't, but it weighs
on you.
Yeah.
So it's like it's touching on a lot of different stuff. In the book, I also put like encouragement, like portions in there on different like parts of it, just based off like what I went through. How to navigate through depression, how to get through it. Like it's no rule book to the shit. Like it's really complicated grief and it's ordinary grief. Complicated grief is from 6 to 12 months or more. So sometimes you don't necessarily have to just grieve for the portion of that time. You know what I'm saying? So it talks about support systems in there, like people that you wanted support from, that you felt like you needed more support from, that you didn't get. You know, you expressing that. Different stuff like that. One of my favorite pages in the book was a page called Let It Go. Basically it's about forgiveness.
Okay.
Because it's like a lot of people feel like, oh, you don't forgive them. You know, forgive them so they can be back in your life. No, I'm forgiving you so I can move on with that.
So I can get out of this bind. Like, people don't understand. A lot of people take forgiveness as a selfish tool. It is a selfless tool.
Okay.
Being a forgiving person, forgiving someone is selfless. It is so easy to hold on shit and to be mad.
It weigh you down so much.
But when you just be like, you know what? I'm done with it. Not for you, for me.
Okay.
I want to be done with it because I want to be released from it, and I want to say, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Forgiveness is one of the hardest processes, and I don't think it's shit you could teach.
You can't.
It just got to be something that you got to just go through. It's a process.
And you really got to be ready to do it too.
You do.
Because you can say, I forgive you today, and you do something to me, to my bitch.
And the bitch, I'm mad all over again. Forgive it. I'll take it all back. Everything.
For sure. It's like, no, fuck that.
Man, I swear it be like, nah, hell no, I'm still mad.
You played in my face, and I'm mad.
I'm mad all again.
I need a little time to get over it. Like, I ain't over it yet.
Yes.
So one of my favorite things is, like, I can't control what nobody else do. And what you choose to do, that's perfectly fine because that's your choice. As a person, that's your choice.
Come on.
I can't tell you not to do this or not to do that. And I can't tell you to do this for me because that's your choice. But it's also my choice to decide if that's something I want to deal with or something that I want to move on from. So it's like, be who you are by all means. But by me being who I am, I'm going to move the fuck around.
Yep.
So it's affirmations in the book.
I think that, baby.
So it's some stuff. It's some real good stuff up in there.
So what I do see, y'all, I am a reader. And she don't even know. She finna have a whole bunch of content just for me. Because now I'm finna add this into my daily regimen and we finna journal.
Period.
So now, I journal on my own. I do this thing. My mom, she started us with this girl when we was kids. To write 10 things that you're grateful for. It don't matter. Good, bad, or ugly. It don't matter what the day of the week is. You write 10 things that you're grateful for. And literally, girl, I have a journal. I think I have like maybe 4 of them now from being an adult. But I do. I write them every day. My alarm go off at 5:30 in the morning and it says, "Good morning, Queen." Every morning. My boyfriend hated he cut that bitch off every chance he gets. That was my dog. He be like, oh, he be like fucking Hulk. Do you hear me? He be ready to cut that shit off. But when I say it all starts, she made a very valid point. One thing I do is listen. When you're going through a grieving process, when you're going through any type of transition in life, and I think she will agree with me just off the strength of this, my dog now. We got too much in common. I didn't know all this. When you are going through any type of process transition, what's said to you is super important. What's poured into you is super important. I think I tell y'all this a million times, and I am a woman lover. I am a black woman lover. I think I support us more than probably anybody. I love us. So when I say we are women, we are creatures of transition. We are creatures of resource. You gotta pour into us.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta pour. I don't got no more pouring for nobody else
Okay.
if you can't pour for me.
Yep.
I need you to flower me.
This ain't no one-way street, baby.
You gotta pour this. And so I made that comment earlier to say, I went through a place in my marriage. I mean, it has nothing to do with the separation, but it does play a role in how I look at things. You want somebody that's gonna pour into your situation just as much as you are.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't asking you to be depressed with me. I'm not even asking you to be anxious with me. I'm not asking you to have none of the feelings I'm asking. I'm asking you to ask me if I'm okay.
Okay.
That shit is
see
free.
if I'm okay.
That shit free. You ain't gotta act. You ain't got to get into no journaling. You ain't got the right shit to say, are you okay? How you feeling about that whole situation? You may not even give a fuck for real. I ain't
Just act like it, huh? Just act like it.
Because it go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to know that I may sit here with a million things on my mind and don't know nothing that you're talking about and can't relate no way, no how.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you can vent and I've made it a safe space for you to vent. Call it phony, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't have
That's support.
I ain't got no shame in my game. You ain't gotta agree. But if you can give me 10 minutes to say, how you feeling? How is that affecting you? Mm-hmm. That go a long way. My journaling that day might go a little bit easier just because I was able to get 10 minutes of some shit out that I probably was gonna write. But hell, I ain't gotta write the shit no more. I didn't talk to you.
It already.
I'm cool. I let it out. People don't understand that. So to see, she made, again, valid point. My girl hit the points. I don't want to keep bringing it.
Okay.
Y'all
get the picture.
Y'all get me. We don't pour into us enough. Mm-hmm. We don't give enough into our minds, into our bodies, into our souls. Not just what we physically take into our bodies, not the surgeries, not the food, but mentally, what we are putting into ourselves to program ourselves to think. Mm-hmm. Y'all, they replacing us with robots. Pretty soon. I'm pretty sure. Ain't no more emotions finna be out here.
For real.
They had full-blown robots at Soldier Fields. I know y'all saw that shit. They look like me and her. Turn, look at you, face, and everything. I'm being funny, but I'm being for real. I'm being
in due time.
It's definitely coming. Mm-hmm. I don't want my therapist replaced by a robot. I don't want my friend replaced by a robot. Girl, this what I got going on. And they yeah, I don't want all that. Mm-hmm. Whereas we got all of this good information, these good tools. This journal got some of everything. This is, I don't mean to be putting your business out. I know you like my age. So 20 plus shipping together. Somewhere around there. She ain't got an answer. My point is, we ain't even in our 30s. She popping her shit.
For sure.
This is a lot to put together under grief, under pressure, in your grieving process, depressed. This shit got everything. Y'all, when I say everything, from resources to QR codes for support hotlines to activities, it's a place in here to put photos, y'all. I done already peeped the shit. Photos?
Yes.
My journal ain't got no photos. I can tell y'all right now, my journal. But hers, I know it's a journal, but it's definitely more like an activity book. Mm-hmm. It gives you so much enrichment. She don't even know.
It's a healing journey.
It is. Yes.
It's a healing journey. Look.
Yes.
Because look, it's really a healing journey. That's what I really learned. I can't sit here and just be oh, I'm depressed. No, I'm not. I'm honestly 100% honestly transparency right now. I am not depressed. Yeah. I am not.
I'm not either.
But I'm still healing.
I was about to say, I think I'm still in the
I'm
process
still
of
healing. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Because 20 plus shipping and handling, baby, we got a lot to uncover. It's a lot that then went on in them 20 plus years. So you ain't just finna heal overnight. Like, but we gotta do this in bits and pieces. Like, I gotta go through what I went through as a kid. Then I gotta hit on teenager. Then I gotta hit on my young adult
you gotta
years.
see how it's affecting what.
Exactly.
Being a teen mama, she just told y'all that shit ain't easy.
Okay. So now, and then you became a teen mom, and like you said, your son is 11. My son is 13, my oldest. Raising a teenager.
I'm praying for you.
Baby, a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, my son is not the average 13-year-old teenage boy, and I'm not gonna stereotype, our kids, but you know what they like. You know how they jumped off the porch already. No, baby, he's still in the basement somewhere. He ain't jumped off no porch.
He ain't off the porch. That's
so
good.
It's like it's baby steps.
But that's a process, and but that says something about her parenting. That says something about the mother that's involved, because no shade, but y'all be letting y'all kids be outside doing all type of shit.
God knows what.
So
don't even know where they at. You don't know where they at until the police call your phone.
Yeah, cause me, I ain't playing. I got location.
Baby, if that location say not available, I'm calling that phone.
I pulls up on people. I don't care if you're on the school bus, baby. Driver, stop. You can let him off. I need him.
Baby, I'm gonna go pick my son up from school. He texted me. He said, you can wait in the car, and I can't. I can't. Let them see me. I don't give a fuck. I'm right here. I cannot. No.
What the kids saying? That's on period.
Baby,
man, listen, I don't give a
you my child. Like, no way.
What Steve Harvey say, I own you and you own me. We is together, okay?
Forever.
That's a relationship kids and mothers see. She got sons like me. I ain't got no friends that got all sons.
Girl, and I ain't got no friends that got all sons neither. None of my age neither. I started having them too early, apparently. And all my kids.
Right, all my kids grown, they little, and shit, I got to catch up. I just was saying that, like, me, I ain't got no babies. My friends, all my friends, they having like little toddler birthday.
Okay.
My kids like, yeah, Ma, you can give me some money. I'm finna go to the mall.
I'm not going to no birthday. I'm not going to that.
My kids like,
no.
I'm not going there.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. No.
So it's definitely it's different. Yeah.
And a lot of that stems from my childhood. Really, like, you try to be the parent. And not to say that I had bad parents, because I did not, and they are both still amazing right to this day. Don't know what I would do without either one of them.
Absolutely.
Like, they are absolutely amazing.
Yes.
But it took me to be an adult to understand that they were absolutely amazing. Like, when I was a kid, they was getting on my nerves. Like,
and you can't understand it. You cannot. I told my mama, like, girl, you got on my last nerves.
For real. And then that's why my best friend be on the phone every day. Be on the phone every day.
I call her for everything, like, Mom.
Be talking to her like she one of your little friends. Girl, don't mad me cursing. It's just, I'm just used to it. Like,
literally, and I tell her, like, I'm still very respectful to my mama and my dad. Like, me and my mama did be messy. We get on the phone in the morning and we'll be talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. And then we'll talk and I'll be like, oh yeah, and I get to getting emotional about something and get to cussing. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Ooh. By the time I'd have been said I'm sorry, they cussing back. Like,
we cursing together. They done made
me mad too. So she's definitely right. And the times have changed. Like with just lay it on me.
So
lay it on me.
In a childhood trauma chapter is a stage that says understanding. And it basically I'm basically expressing, like, parenting don't come with a handbook. Like, it don't. Like, you really are learning as you go. And what's now how you parent in the 2000s, that ain't how our parents was raised in the 1900s. You know what I'm saying? So the way they parent was in a time frame that no longer exists. They were parenting in a society that's way different than now, baby. You got to parent a little different than how you parented back then.
Yes.
And for me, it was like, I feel like my mom was still trying to parent back like when she was a kid. Like, her parent her.
She didn't understand, though.
Exactly. So she didn't understand how to change and navigate her teaching tools or her parenting tools because she was going off of the way she was raised. So she was raising us on the way she was raised, but baby, you was raised in 19 something.
I was not saying now we with all this technology and all this other stuff, you got to get with the time.
So, and that's not their fault.
My mama.
And that's not her fault. Just like it wasn't my mama's fault because that's what she knew.
That's all she knew.
And we can't blame her for utilizing what she knew.
But that's just like us. Like if I wasn't into the content and the TikTok and stuff like how I'm into it. And if I'm being honest, you know, my son say I'll never give him no credit. So son, I love you. I give you all the credit. My son put me onto TikTok.
See,
my son, my 11-year-old was the one like, Mom, you would do good with that stuff. You could learn them dances. You could do this. And I have started, and this was when I was doing my weight loss journey. And girl, I was on that camera like, oh no.
This ain't it.
This is not it. And when I finally, that was a way though, that was an outlet for me to learn my kids. Mm-hmm. So like even when all of this stuff was going on, when like my brother passed and, you know, like even now my grandfather's in the hospital, he's on hospice. It's kind of like an any day. It's cool. He lived a good life, and I will say, I had the amazing life to be able to know both of my grandparents. Both sets of grandparents and both of my granddaddies was amazing. So to see how time changed, like you just said, that was a way for me to literally, people don't know that content creating, that was a way for me to learn like bonding with my kids. Mm-hmm. That was a way for me. My kids would jump into TikTok with me with a quickness. Let it be a dance, I don't know. They don't know the dance, they go,
okay,
go ahead,
Mom.
We gonna party and we gonna do it together. And that was a way to kind of really keep me like within the time. So when she say like being within the times, that also plays a role with like what we were just talking about and kind of circling back to the topic, grieving and going through your mental health journey. You can't help nobody if you're not on their level. If you don't understand where they at and knowing where they are in their process, you can't help nobody. Mm-hmm. For us, it was an easy thing because I'm still kind of their age. Mm-hmm. But for our parents, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, baby.
It wasn't like that at all. Okay, so as we close, give me the one thing, if you could tell anybody, give me your 2-minute pitch on what you would say if you had to tell anybody to go through this mental health journey and why they should get this journal.
For one, I think, so for me, I think you should go on a mental health journey because it's healing for you. Like, not for nobody else. Don't do it for nobody else. Don't do it because I said I feel like you should go on your mental health journey.
Exactly.
Like, this has to be something that you're ready for, because if you just be like, girl, you should get this book, and you just get this book, you be like, oh, okay. No, bitch, I need you to sit there and be like, damn, okay, let me think about this. Like, let me really get to the root of why. Yes. Like, let me get to the root of what this question is really asking me. Like, for, like, one of the topics, like, it's talking about narcissism, toxic relationships. Like, it's talking about a lot. It's talking about the type of different toxic relationships you can be in. Like, with a social media person, like somebody that's off of social media. You know, like the person that just sucks you dry, like the person that just take. It's called the drainer. Like the person that literally just take without giving. So it's like you really have to sit and think about what the fuck these questions are asking you to get to understand why you are the way you are.
You gotta be for real focused and in tune for yourself.
Exactly. And for me, it's like right now I'm not depressed. But right now, I circle on pages, not talking about me being depressed, but pages that gets down to the root of why I am the woman that I am, why I feel the way that I feel. Simply just answering some of the questions, and childhood trauma reflects on why I'm the parent the
why
type
you
of
parent the way
I
you do.
parent.
Yes.
Everybody parent their kids different, and that's totally fine.
Absolutely.
But how I want to parent my kid is how I want to parent my kid, and that's my choice. And I choose to parent my kid for a reason. Like, I choose
the
to
way
parent
that
them
I do
way for a reason. So it's like, even though like you can be past depression, I'm still healing, I'm still learning, and for me, I still right there because I want to evolve as a woman. I don't feel like I'm never done learning. I don't feel like I'm content. I feel like I will never be content at a stage that I am because I feel like I can always grow. I feel like there's always more.
Absolutely.
So if I'm going to sit there and figure out how I can elevate and get more of myself or give more of myself,
that's what I'm going to do.
I need to do that. So for me, it's like, it's not just, oh, I'm depressed, girl. I done been through some shit. I'm not trying to be the victim. I'm not trying to paint this sob ass story
and be
done. So I can reach, like, I want to clear level 1 and go to level 2, baby. I'm ready to
move forward. Yes.
Exactly. Yes. And so much have held us back for so long. So it's like now with society and everything that's going on and the way that people are, like, every killer ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the fuck they been through or what was their breaking point. You know what I'm saying?
How did we even get here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to uncover all of how I got to where I am so I can appreciate where I'm going, basically. So I feel like that's what people need to do. And look, don't let me tell you just get the journal to get the journal, but get the journal to get the motherfucking journal.
Get the journal to get the journal. You heard what she said. She said what she said. I cannot. Did you have fun?
I did.
I can't thank her enough. She came on here and
I'm probably gonna be back for the podcast, but I'm gonna be back.
It's okay. I love new hangout partners. So oh my gosh, she just took my heart. Y'all know I'm real on here. It's real raw, uncut. Okay. It is what it is. I love to hear it. I definitely appreciate it. I had a lot of fun being able to just. Too.
And y'all should get y'all wine. She get y'all all hot and stuff.
I'll definitely let you get loose because I feel like that's the best way. That's the best teacher. When you are in your real self. If I get on here and I'm all crunched up and nervous all the time, y'all not gonna want to watch me. I'm like, what the fuck she got going on? But if I get on here and I'm telling y'all the real deal, holy feeling, y'all looking like, dang, that's her real life. And then you see this episode, and then you go watch 5 TikToks from now, and I'm busted. Hell, that's me. It's the real deal. So I thank you so much.
I thank you for inviting me.
Definitely thank you. Like, number one, it was refreshing to talk to somebody who understands everything, literally everything that you're going through.
For sure.
But more so can relate and is on that same journey you on. We may not be on the same journey as far as like where she's going, where I'm going, as far as what we doing in that aspect. But we ain't trying to be in this depressed place. We ain't trying to be anxious. We not trying to have no mental health catastrophes no time soon. We trying to live life, grow, raise these kids, and make something of your life to leave for these kids. Okay. So when you going through this stuff, I do want my son to be like in 30 or 40 years, like, man, you know, my mama probably 70, 80 years old, but she told me, you know, when I'm going through this, I do this. Or she left me with this journal to do this. We don't teach our kids enough that stuff. That's the importance right there, for real.
For sure. And I even have my 13-year-old looking at the journal.
As he should, because my 11-year-old show finna get real acquainted, whether he wants to or not.
It's like the inevitable. My 13-year-old, he's real standoffish. He's real quiet. Real chill, real laid back.
Ain't that always
he feel like he's that nigga, and he is. But
yeah, period.
But he keep his emotions inside. Like you can tell, like when something is bothering him. And I feel like that's just because I'm his mama. Like I can tell something bothering him.
And all if you want his mama, that's the thing. Would he be able to express that stuff with somebody?
And he would
be able to identify that.
And he would.
That maternal instinct. If mama was a person,
okay.
Because that is so me, yes.
It is. And And because he's a young black boy, I want him to be able to touch on that. Like, volume 2 of the journal, one of the topics will be toxic masculinity. Because guys go through shit and they don't express it because they feel like they're supposed to be tough. They feel like they're supposed to be hard.
Because that's what they raised to think.
Exactly. They feel like men's supposed to be just the providers, the strong, the backbone, the support system. But if we kind of fuck you, what foundation they gonna create?
How y'all gonna build anything?
Yeah.
What you gonna build on the shaky foundation?
Shit.
Because if he's not confident in what he knows, real men cry. Cry with me, baby.
Okay.
Because we finna get each other together. Okay? Hey.
So
they don't want part 2. They don't want part 2. They ain't ready. Jay is not ready. They is not ready. Well, again, I thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Just great conversation, challenging your intellect, being able to be vulnerable. That's something that a lot of women are not able to do with other women, which I consider myself top tier when it comes to that, because I don't give a fuck.
Okay,
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and girl, we're gonna get through this, because ultimately we here to empower and move and heal and get to the next level. The only way you're gonna do that is if you're able to identify what's going on right here in the surface. I thank my girl Victoria again 100 times more for coming on. Y'all know we here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Memoirs and Some, the podcast. I'm the best host on the land. The Myia Dominique. But I'm going to see y'all next week, and we out for tonight.
Bye.